I can't... I can't process that. What did I just do? Oh my god. Dude! Oh my... Fuck! Dude, I just can't do this. Like, why am I fucking choking every time? Why the fuck? I fucking hate playing on this so much. You've got to be motherfucking kidding me with that. Stupid fucking piece of shit setup you have to use to play this garbage. Sitting here playing through a fucking OBS projection with a ton of input lag. Oh my god, I am just so fucking sick of this stupid fucking jank ass piece of shit game. Oh my god, I fucking did it! That's by one, isn't it? That's by one tick. That's by one tick, isn't it? That's by one fucking tick, isn't it? Oh my god. Oh my god! Let's fucking go! 5 post-solo chokes, man. 5 motherfucking 5 of them! I feel just lucky that my first run actually passed, actually not fucking missing the front end. pulled through by one tick. I didn't even really think about the fact that after getting PAL set up, I wouldn't have a way to display it. I don't know how anybody else does this shit. There is literally zero information I can find on Google or YouTube about how to set this up properly. This is just frustrated speak, but I do mean some of it. So anyway, I mentioned this in that awful X12 second act post-solo choke, but I'm playing this through OBS. I have it like set through a full screen projector to another monitor, to like the lowest latency monitor I can basically get. It's a 240 hertz monitor. I have it underclocked to 200 to just be a multiple of 50. I don't know if that really did anything, but it's whatever. And yeah, this is just fucking terrible. I guarantee you I would not have had more than one, maybe two post-solo chokes if I were playing this on any sort of decent setup. As a result of that as well, I have to have this muted or else the audio lags behind. I can't even get it to play out of the proper monitor in OBS. It's playing through my like laggy main monitor speakers, so there's no point. Not that, you know, I'm really missing anything, but it just makes everything even more janky. So yeah, this is fucking miserable. This also just looks ugly as sin on a monitor like this. Outputting interlaced footage at 50 FPS, it just looks absolutely terrible. I didn't think I was ever gonna do this one. Man, you know, my goal basically is just get the record on every song. I'm not focusing on keeping the record on every song. That would be just like life warping, terrible decision 101. But yeah, I at least want to try to get the record on every song. And this was one of the two giant ifs for that ever happening. The next one is still yet to be seen. Might even turn out to be more annoying. But we'll see, man. At the very least, there should be just a semblance more of consistency with it. This song is just an absolute mess. Obviously, you'd like to get the best possible second act that you can, or first act. I said earlier, X12 second act, meant first act, obviously. It's just weird to have a song with 2 acts total in it. But yeah, you want the best possible first squeeze, but it really comes down to the fact that I'm playing this through this god-awful, laggy as fuck setup. And B, you really just have to give yourself the best possible odds of getting to the solo. Because if you start flipping coins on whether or not you even get past the first act, man, this just becomes exponentially more miserable. So you just kind of have to take what you can get, unfortunately. My average for any sort of decent act was about this. It's in the 92, 96. Didn't seem to really have any consistency. I doubt there is any. Just seems to be teetering on the fence of that. Obviously, the really good acts were those X8 and X12s. And weak acts were X80, X84. I'm not really sure why it only moves in multiples of 2 ticks. The tempo isn't very high. Probably just has something to do with PAL, of course. This run I used a different extended hit window method. Also, trying to use extended hit window on this laggy fucking setup is just... like, I don't think I'll ever be able to complain about that mechanic again, playing back on NTSC, on CRT. It just... oh god, even though it's mostly a muscle memory thing, it's just so fucking awful. But yeah, I really don't think I missed trying to use extended hit window on that second act. I think I was just strumming late because, again, laggy. But regardless, I did switch my extended hit window method from anchoring green to fretting the higher note, which is my preferred method. I think it has something to do with just mentally, because while using extended hit window, you're doing a strum and then activating with your palm, you're doing a, like, I guess a left to right motion with your right hand. And so I think it's just easier for my brain to also do that with my left hand. But it was much more convenient to practice this method using hold anchoring yellow and going to green because of the first verse, which I eventually just had to do. I eventually just had to sit there and just grind that out at the beginning of every run, basically. Just practicing that front end activation over and over, because I just couldn't take much more of this, man. I mean, I'm still super torn up about that X12 run that died. That was once in a lifetime. That was a once in a lifetime run. But I can't, but it's at the same time, I can't blame myself because the setup sucks so bad. Initially, as you saw in that first choke, my plan was to use the descending extended hit window fret trick on the blue to, and the main reason for that was not to get like extra whammy. That was just kind of like, hey, if that happens, cool. It was to avoid dropping any ticks on the orange while still getting max blue whammy. Because again, I have to say it, at the end of the day, for how terrible this was, I avoided my main fear, which was finishing a run without first. And again, this wasn't even with the quote-unquote better tick luck on the first grind. I had 92 instead of 96, which was basically like my flag early on for saying like, this has potential. And again, honestly, I'm surprised. I don't remember exactly when I hit the blue whammy, but I don't feel like it was particularly on time. I felt like it was a tad late. And I don't think my front end for the second squeeze was that great either, just because I just couldn't mentally deal with throwing another run away. So, yeah, don't really have anything else to say. I'm just so utterly relieved I was able to close this out today and not have this linger over me for God knows how long, because again, at the end of the day, it's, you know, you can get as good as you want at that solo, but it's just fucking luck, man. It's just luck. And even at 2 activations in the entire song, those still add so much to the mental load. Early on, too, I was wondering about, like, path changes you could potentially make. For a while, I was confused why you didn't wait 3 chords to activate on the second act. Because it looked like from just the charting that those 3 chords were, like, the same amount of space as the 5 chords are that follow the yellow-blue that you end on. And really, the reason why I didn't commit to any kind of path changes, aside from the fucking obvious of not throwing away more runs, was because whammy on the solo is just a complete shit show. You're almost guaranteed very late whammy, which makes any kind of path adjustment just ineffective. So even with extended hit window, like, upper bound will never be achieved on this. I feel, I feel so fucking relieved and so irritated at the same time. But, yeah, it's time to move on from this. Get this out of my mental. I did it. I fucking did it. Trogdor world record.